The whole point of school is to become educated. Yet there's a difference between being educated and being schooled. Here's how Immanuel Kant, the great German philosopher, defined education. What can I know? What may I hope? What ought I to do? Lastly, what is man? Immanuel Kant's definition of education, we could trim all of those things down to meaning one thing: understanding of self, self-awareness. If you're self-aware, you're ahead of everything else, because if you understand who you are and how you function, turns your creative juices on, well, then you're not going to spend the rest of forever trying to work out what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And that's the whole function of education, is to become self-aware. Let's see if school fulfills that. Now, I'm not speaking from opinion. I'm speaking from the perspective of John Taylor Gatto, who was a school teacher for 30 years and then realized that the whole structure of the schooling system was really to create a docile, dependent, and disillusioned class of people. You take a child at their most impressionable and you divide that child by age, by subject, by standardized testing and ranking them being smart or average or below average, and they get locked into that. It creates envy, it creates jealousy. What does that do for anyone? Does that allow you to know yourself? Does that allow you to build self-awareness on how you can better yourself? If the answer for you is no, then clearly self-awareness is found through education and not through schooling. And that's the difference, being schooled and being educated. Schooled is going through the function of being divided by age, by subject, by definition of high, low, medium, whatever. And education is the understanding yourself, means your own level of worth. No, you don't need to adapt to someone else's map. And that's the whole reason why education exists. So you can create your map. Yet, when you follow a system of when you're segregated through so many means, and then you're placed in a box the school system has given you, how on earth do you create a map? If you look at every student that graduates from high school, majority of them have no idea what they want to do. And that's the whole function of school. Schooling is being boxed by all these little proliferations of how things are supposed to be, because you need to act and be a certain way, because that just makes it so much easier for industry and the world to be able to hire you eventually, because you'll be predictable. Also, that's the difference between being schooled and being educated. Educated is a process of self-awareness that you develop and that you're comfortable with developing. And John Taylor Gatto's book of Weapons of Mass Instruction, he says, in over 30 years of teaching and understanding the curriculum of how school is taught, genius, get this, genius is as common as dirt. And that's not some fluffy thing to say. That's not some feel-good throwaway comment to say. It's a fact from a teacher who's taught it for 30 years. Horace Mann, who promoted public schooling in the 1800s, said himself to his financial backers, he called school the best jail, by which he meant that the jail you sentence your mind to when you go to school is harder to escape than any other iron bars. So does that mean everyone should just leave school? Of course not. And does everyone mean they've got to blame everything that's not working in their life at school? Of course not. But here's what it does mean. It means that there's a certain percentage of people who really relate to school. They like the system of school, and they'll be schooled really well, and they'll be the ones who do really good. Conversely, there's a greater majority of students who don't enjoy school. I was one of them. But they try and adapt because that's the only way you can survive, because the school system is just one system. Because whether you're good at school or you're not good at school, the point is to build self-awareness. And how do you do that? How you do it? Try as many of these things. Build the self-awareness. Build to understand yourself, how you are. What do you gravitate to? And you just got to find what your outlet is. You've just got to find what it is, that thing that lights you up. But education is lifelong learning. That's the key to unlocking your full potential, no matter what age. That genius is as common as dirt. Well, that is so exciting.